Will they accept me? Can I get a seat at their table? Winners build their own table and are invited to other tables because other tables saw that they could build their own table and you weren't going to be a liability or an asset. People get tired of pulling grown people especially grown people who are ingrateful. They're not grateful. You bless them and they still curse you. Why? Because they don't understand, because they never built their own table, so they don't understand. That's why you got to build your own table, not to build your own table, but so you can understand table building. So you can understand the mindset of a winner. Because when you're a loser with a winner, it's always going to be some conflict because you don't understand what winning is really about. I just need to borrow. What? You need to borrow $360,000. Bruh, that's my business at this point. You jump put my name on it. $365,000? How much does it cost? $364,000. You try to get an extra grand from me? You try to get something to eat? I said, bro, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. We homies for life. Nothing will separate us. You gotta sweat for you to be able to understand it. You gotta fail to be able to understand it. Am I talking to somebody? You gotta listen to me. You gotta learn how to hunt, because the person that's doing the hunting, they may die before you die. And if they die and you never learn how to hunt, you're going to be in a world of trouble. That's the only thing I have for my kids. I tell my kids every day, Dad, what is it that you want for your birthday? What you want for Christmas? You to learn how to hunt. That's it. That's it. And not hunt for you, because I'm already hunting for us. No, if I live to be 100 and you only live to be 75, you don't never need to hunt. But I can't guarantee you that I'm going to be here as long as you're going to be here. So if you don't learn to hunt, becoming takes the energy off of them. Becoming takes the energy off of them, the responsibility off of them. And it places it on you. Now, here's the deal. Most of us are performers because we're scared to be responsible. We're scared. We're scared to be responsible. Some of us are good people, but we're scared to be responsible. We're scared to take care of ourselves. We're scared to let God take care. Like, we're scared to do it all on our own. So we attach ourselves to people who have become, because we feel there's some safety in that. No, do yourself a favor. The same God that helped them to become can help you to become. But not if you're going to keep performing. Shift from what they think about you to what do you think about you. Oh, I want you, this is homework. What do you think about you? No, for real. What do you think about you? You're so concerned about what they think you're worth that you don't have no self-worth. Watch this. I wrote this down. This is funny. I found out. Anybody know how much the iPhone costs to make? Like just the phone itself, this period, just the phone, not what they charge you. How much does the phone cost? Yeah, $10. The iPhone costs $10 to make. Watch this. iPhone is not letting the market set its value. They say this joker worth $1,200. That's without all the bells and whistles. You're letting them tell you what your worth is every time you put something online, and then they don't respond the way you think they should respond. Now all of a sudden your self-worth is in the trash. Somebody else got your self-worth in your hand. I don't care if you're doing right or doing wrong. You doing what you think you should be doing, and you're concerned about what other people think about what you're doing. I don't care if it's right or wrong. You doing it. Why are you worried about what they think? I need you to write this down. It's time for you to set your own value. Begging to sit at the table, begging them to determine your value, denounces your own capabilities, shrinking to fit in their world. So people call me all the time, E, bro, you should have been on this show, E. You should have been on this radio show, E. You should get on this TV show. I said, what? You think I can't get on? Bruh, I gave them the inspiration to start a show 10 years ago. You don't know that I know them. They asked me to be on their show when I did a speaking engagement for them. That was 4-5 years ago. I ain't get on the show. Why? I only get on shows that's going to expand our table. I don't need to get on no show for me to feel worth. E, you see so-and-so and so-and-so got an awards. Awards? I'm a grown man. I don't even know. I need to pay bills. We got mortgages. We paying people's insurance. I don't got time for no award. I'm not disrespecting awards, but an award don't make me. You think I didn't? Somebody said to me the other day, E, when you gonna run a marathon? I'm always running a marathon. I'm running 20, 30 miles a week. Oh, what you mean is when is a man gonna put his medal around me? Oh, that's what you mean. When is a man gonna put his medal around me in front of other people and say, you ran a marathon? My body will tell you I ran one. My heart will tell you I ran one. My blood pressure will tell you I ran one. I don't need a grown man to say he run a marathon at 36 minutes and whatever. I'm good. I'm really running in the dark, so I don't need to perform in the light. I'm running in the dark. I'm reading the word in the dark. I'm praying in the dark. I'm studying my craft in the dark. I'm calling superintendents in the dark. I'm with principals in the dark. I'm working with teachers in the dark. I'm sending stuff to the schools in the dark. I'm working when I'm not getting a check. I'm at the prison on my birthday. I'm doing what's important to me. I don't care if you think it's important or not. You don't think the prison is important. You think I should be on some radio show. No, I want to be with prisoners. I want to be with the forgotten. I want to be with the people that people forgot about. I don't need your award. He will say to me, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over few. I'll blow you up. And your problem is you're still looking for validation. I'm leaving.
I'm going after what Martin Luther King went after. I'm going after what Gandhi went after. I'm going after what Mother Teresa went for. I'm going for what? I'm going for the Nobel Prize. And that's why I wake up with so much passion every day, because I know what I'm going to get. I don't wake up for a car. The car gonna come with the Nobel Prize. I don't wake up and look for money. Money come with the no. There's no Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel winner that's broke. There's no Nobel winner that was in poverty. There's no Nobel Prize winner that you don't know, that they don't have recognition, that they don't have impact. So I don't have to chase that stuff. I'm chasing the Nobel Prize. And I'm chasing it quick because my grandma's 91. And I need my grandma to be there because she's been there for everything I've ever gotten in my life. I would love to just have a chef and be like, boom, cook. She's hungry. Please cook her something. My marriage would be so much better. My personal life and ministry would be better if I can just get up and go grab something to eat and then go to work. I spend at least 4 or 5 hours a day shopping, thinking about what I'm going to get, cooking, cleaning, prepping, preparing. Don't take that for granted. The whole world don't have these facilities. Somebody worked hard for you to have this. And while you out oversleeping, drinking stuff, doing stuff, not what you're supposed to do, going away, you made a commitment. Somebody came to your living room. Somebody came to your house. Somebody came to your school and they recruited you. You owe them. You owe them your best. No excuses. You are adult men now. You're not kids no more. You're an adult male now. You owe. Somebody worked hard to give you what you have. You at least owe them what you said you was going to give them. No more. I'm not asking for no more. But whatever you told coach and the coaching staff you was going to do it. Girlfriend or no girlfriend. Do it. Tired or not tired. Do it. You said you was going to do it out your mouth. You're a man now. And a man is only as good as his word, not his emotions. Your emotions don't win championships. Emotions don't build buildings. Emotions tear it down. So whatever's going to cause you not to be your best, stop it. You owe somebody in this room. I'm here today because I owe my mother and I did her wrong. I owe my mother. The best thing I could have ever done for my mother was graduate from high school so she, like every other parent, could sit in that room and hear her last name call. And I blew it. I didn't give her that. But I will spend the rest of my natural life getting on TV, being on the radio. You owe people. You didn't get here on your own. Somebody made a sacrifice before you. You owe it to this university to bring a national title. I didn't go here, but let me tell you something. Every time y'all on TV, baseball, soccer, it don't make a difference. Football, NFL, NBA, they don't say Ohio State. I don't know what's in their blood here, but they do it a little different. They say D. They say that's stronger than the actual college itself. Ohio State kind of just roll off. Ohio State, D. Ohio State. That's a legacy. That's a legacy. Your responsibility is not to come here and just eat off the legacy. Your responsibility is to come and defend the legacy. Because if you don't defend it, it won't be here 5 years from now. It won't be here 10 years from now. I'm writing a book. I'm not writing a book for myself. As a matter of fact, I told them, keep the $400,000. I don't need it. Give me 50-50. I don't need y'all money. Give me 50-50. They said, why you want 50-50? Because this book is for my grandkids. We're going to make millions and we're going to make sure they have something when they come. And the kids are already straight. Why? Because of the decisions that I made. I made some decisions not to play video games. I made some decisions not to watch TV. I made some decisions that I want. What do you want, Eric? I want a better future for my kids than I had. And I love my mom. And I love what she did. But she had me at 17 years old. It was a child raising a child. And there was some dysfunction in there. Is this generation going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But we're going to set each one up to be better. What do you want? Not what do you want to get. You're a man now. Not what do you want to get. Not what do you want to receive. What do you want? And what do you want to do for this program? The next one, please. I'm sorry. What do you want? Here's my favorite one. Everybody, I saw it on the thing. Everybody want to win. I saw it, Coach. I walked in there. Everybody has the will to win. I've never seen a team in my life. What number? We number 4. We number 4. Boom. You ever seen that? Come on, everybody. Shh, come on, y'all. We number 4. Yes. We number 5. Every team I've ever seen said, we number 1. But every team does not prepare like they number 1. What are you willing to do to get what you said you wanted? I know what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to get up in the morning at 4 o'clock and drive here. My son, by the grace of God, he drove. But if he wasn't here, I promise you, I would have drove myself. Why? Because I'm willing to drive at 4 o'clock in the morning and spend the night with my wife. I want to spend the night with my wife. I'm willing. Some guys like, I'm going to fly in. Well, nope, I'm willing to drive in and I'm still about to get 120. And I'm getting back on the road. Whenever coach tell me we done, I won't leave a second before. But once he say we're done, your work is done here. No more meetings, no more nothing. Goodbye. I'm going right back to my baby. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to give? What are you willing to say? What are you willing to say no to? Write that down. What are some things you need to say no to? Write that down for me. Because if we're going to go all in, you can't go all in on everything. Now you can't go all in on 20 things. Secret, you can't go all in on the weekend. You can't go all in drinking, smoking. You can't go all in eating crazy. You can't go all in. The decisions that you would make when you're around people you love and care for, I want you to get mature enough to make those when they're not around. That's manhood. Now we're going to grow up. This is how you're going to get to the next level. So there are a group of you, there are certain things you wouldn't do around the names that you wrote down. There are some things you would dare do around your mama. There are some things that you dare do around your daddy. There are some things you dare do around your grandma. But when your grandma's not around and you're hanging with your friends, now you're doing some stuff that maybe you don't even want to do. But you've given up your decision because you want to be affirmed. Nobody knew who Eric Thomas was when I was following the crowd. Nobody knew who Eric Thomas was when I wasn't making certain. I dropped out of high school. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And it has nothing to do with school. I don't like school. What was the worst decision I've ever made to drop out? Why? Because my mom got pregnant with me at 17 years old. And my mom got kicked out. My grandma had 14 kids, south side of Chicago. 3-bedroom house, 1 bath. My grandma told my mother, either you get on welfare or you got to go. And my mother said, this is the 2nd generation of welfare. I won't be the 3rd. A decision. My mother made a decision. She said, I'm not mad at you, Grandma. I'm not mad at my mama, but we're not going to raise another generation on welfare. So my grandma kicked her out. Y'all got to hear what I'm saying. My mom went through a whole lot to have me. Everybody told her, you 17, you too young, get an abortion. And I'll never forget when I got kicked out of the Detroit public school system. They called my mom up there and said, look, we got to have you come before we can kick him out. This is his third strike. And I'll never forget being at that school. And my mom is a proud woman. I ain't never seen my mama cry. She was raised with 13 siblings on the south side of Chicago. I've never seen my mother cry. I've never seen my mother beg. My mother begged the principal. I've never seen it. My mom begged. I've never seen it after. I've never seen it again. My mother begged that principal to let me stay in school. My mother begged a grown man. She pleaded with him, please, don't kick my baby out. Let him stay in school. And I'll never forget, the principal went to my file and he showed my mom my academic, middle school, high school. He said, you want school for your son. He don't want school. He's been kicked out on several occasions. His grades, he don't want to be here. You want him to be here. And I'll never forget, that was you guys are athletes, so you know that walk you take? The walk you take from here to the field. I took a walk at 16. I took a walk with my mom, and we walked down the long hall of Detroit Henry Ford, and my mother didn't say a word to me. Oh, you know when, now I don't know about where y'all come from, but where I come from, when your mama gets so mad she can't talk, you've gone too far. And I remember we walked out and we opened the door and my mom went to her car. And I remember my mom shed a tear. And my mom said, I didn't raise you like this. I don't know what happened to you. I didn't raise you like this. But you know what happened? I was hanging with people and I was making their decisions, not thinking about my mama and how it would hurt my mama. So to be honest with you, the only reason I got a PhD is because when I got that GED and finally graduated from college the first time, I was 30 years old. And my mom drove all the way from Michigan. All those friends that I used to do stuff with. I'm going somewhere. I want to make sure we get this because there's some decisions that need to be made. The coaches are telling you what to do. You got a phenomenal coaching staff, right? They're going to be telling you, professors, parents, but you got to make the decision. Coach going to give you the best scheme. But the teams that win are the teams that get on one accord with each other, one accord with the staff, one accord with your parents, one accord with the values. Listen to me. I'm trying to tell you guys, you think to be a champion means you run faster, you got more skills. No. The champions have more value. I'm telling you what I've seen. I'm telling you, Kobe just had more values. Kobe just wanted it more than everybody else wanted. Kobe was relentless. Kobe had a value of relentless. He didn't just know the word relentless. He was relentless. It was in his DNA. Some of you say the word, but it's not a value. Some of you say the word because you know coach want to hear the word, but you are not relentless. You just say the word. You repeat what you hear. But when you get to a point where you make a decision to be relentless, there are things that people who are relentless get that people who are not, they don't get. So what coach is telling you, if you really want to be a national champion, you have to make a decision. And I made some different decisions. At 30 years old, I got my first degree. And all my little homies who I got in trouble with, I don't know where they are, but my mama, after all those years, guess who came? The people on the paper. Guess who drove 779 miles from Detroit, Michigan to Huntsville, Alabama to see her baby graduate. And let me tell you something. I was 30 years old with 2 kids. And my mama screamed like I had graduated on time. My mama was screaming like I was 22 years old and I had made all the right decisions. And when I saw that smile, I said, we got to do that one more time. This first one was for high school that she didn't get. The second one is going to be for the college that she get. And the PhD, and guess what? Mama was at every last one of them. Grandma was at, Auntie Cleo was at everyone. Auntie Wanda was at. And I took a shift, y'all, and I stopped doing stuff for people who I probably wouldn't even know 20 years from now. And I started thinking about the people that helped me get to it. Now listen to me very closely. When y'all playing now, when y'all out there doing your thing, I want you to think about these people. Why? Because you're going to play at a whole nother level when you're thinking about them. There's a different energy you get when you do it for mama. Have you ever read those stories before where you got a kid trapped under a car, or there's a pit bull chasing the mama and she got her baby, and all of a sudden this frail woman is able to get this dog off her child? She's able to lift a car. Like, how you do that? And then the next day, if you told her to lift a car for $1 million without her baby being under there, I promise you she couldn't do it. Why? The adrenaline that we get when we do something for a loved one is a different energy you get when you're doing something just for a score, when you're doing something just to get some affirmation. When you start doing stuff for the people you love, it's a whole nother level.
Like, you look at the thing and you say you want to be that, but somewhere in your spirit you feel like, I can kind of do that, but I can't do that. And I can't do that, or I'm not sure if I can do that. It's a thing that's stopping you from doing that. When I said the Nobel Prize, I promise you. Okay, so watch this. When I say I'm going to win the Nobel Prize, people say what? That's a big one. That's a lot. And when they say that's a big one, that's a lot. What do they mean? You're not qualified. They limitations. So they say it with the limitations. But when I heard it, I didn't hear them. When I heard it, I was like, woo, I'm about to go get this Nobel Prize. I'm about to go get this Nobel Prize. And so when I spoke, I'm about to get this Nobel Prize. 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 I put it out in the atmosphere, and out of nowhere, people start sending me books on people who win the Nobel Prize. They sent me a book of like 100, 200,000 people who won it from the beginning up to now. Then people start calling me and invite me. Hey, E, I don't know if you know it, but we're having a Nobel Prize luncheon in D.C. Are you available? I said, I didn't even know they had a luncheon. I didn't even know like this was an organization. Like, I thought I was the only one that said it. No, you're not. So when Harriet started freeing people, she realized you're not the only one and you're not the first one. And they introduced her to the other people that was doing it. When you start believing and start moving, you're going to start getting introduced to opportunities. You're going to start going behind closed doors. You're going to start doing stuff that nobody else is doing. Why? Because don't nobody even know that it's possible. This is just a small group of people that believe, that spending time together. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? When I said I wanted to be a billionaire, out of nowhere, I started hooking up with billionaires. I started running into billionaires when I started saying it. I started hooking up with dudes that own NFL teams, not the dudes that play. I started hooking up with dudes that own the NBA team, not the dudes that play. Because I didn't just say it, I believed it. I need you to do me a favor, get rid of all fear, all doubt. Any music, any TV programs, any person. Listen to me. Here's what I love. I love when Harriet came to Philadelphia, the first thing they said was, do me a huge favor, give me a different name. I don't even want you saying that name that was attached to being enslaved. Because if you say that name is going to remind you. I want you to give yourself a new name. No, just give yourself a new name. Say something else. And listen to me, when you give yourself a new name, they're going to start giving you a new name. They call her Moses. They gave her a new name. Are you hearing what I'm saying? They gave her a new name. I need you to get rid of all fear. I need you to believe. All right, 3 people. What would you do if you weren't afraid? If you really believed that you could do what you said you could do, what would you do differently? Talk to me quickly. What would you do differently? If you believed that whatever you wrote down could happen. First of all, you would do it. Don't say that one. You would do it. It wouldn't be on a piece of paper. You would actually do it. But what would you do that you're not doing right now if you believed? Good. So we're just going to go. Listen to me very closely. If they're going to shut the door on us, they're going to shut the door on us. We're not going to shut the door on ourselves no more. We're not going to pre-shut the doors. You feel like we're going to stop pre-shutting doors. We're going to stop going, they don't even need to go to that door because I already know what they're going to do with that door. They're going to shut me down. We're going to stop pre-shutting doors. And if the doors get shut, they're going to have to shut it. So we're going to go where we want to go. Where would we like to go? What school would you like to graduate from? Where would you like to be an alumni from as a nurse? So we're going to start with Michigan State. And we're going to talk to everybody we need to talk to graduate from Michigan State, right? So here's what we're going to do too. All right. So let's put a date next to that dream you got. Put a date. That's one of the hard things right there. Put a date on it. Right? When are you going to march? Put a where? Put a place. You're going to march from Michigan State University. The Brez.
The brands. I was listening to my daughter talk to our media consultant last night, and my daughter is like, when she graduates, she got a production she gonna be doing. She got a production. So they was like, what's the production like? Give it a name. She already had a name for it. She said, my father graduated from Michigan State. My brother graduated from Michigan State. I'm graduating. We're going to call it Production Legacy. I said, ooh, I hope I get to get it. I hope I get to get in that joker. You know what I'm saying? I hope I get like a 30-second cameo in that boy. And they was talking and they was going through what it's going to look like. I'm like, ooh, I love it. I love it. Like the problem is you looking at the fear side of it and not the faith side of it. Start looking at the faith side of it. Start looking at what it would look like if you actually did what you said you wanted to do. Stop looking at what can't happen and start looking at what can happen. I'm so excited. I'm like, yo, this is going to be a fabulous day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait. When she started talking about it, I was like, you graduate in December? She's like, no, May. I'm like, oh, okay. I was hoping it would be in December, like around Christmas. Like, I just wanted to start the new year with that video. What would it look like, guys? Good. What else? Somebody else. What would you do if you didn't put limits on yourself? Write that down. Follow through on your dreams. Follow through, y'all. All right, so let me tell you what follow through looks like. In the NFL, they actually got something called the Megatron rule. Because a couple years ago, he was in the end zone, caught the ball, came down, but it came out. Right, so they came up with a rule like you got to hold it for so many seconds so we know you got. Do me a favor, y'all. Don't just have the uniform on. Just don't have the look. Don't just be out there catching. Hold on to the doggone thing. Execute. Because if you can't hold on and bring it down, you don't get 7 points for it. And some of you, what you're doing most of it, but you're not doing the most important part. That's executing. That's following through. That's getting it done. You don't get to this level talking. You don't get to this level almost. You don't get to this level doing 70%. You get to this level when you execute. All I's are dotted, all T's are crossed. Is that clear? People respect you when you finish, not when you talk. Some of y'all, you talk too much. Stop talking. You don't have to tell me what you're going to do. Just what? Just do it. You think I'm going to have respect for you because you're talking about it, or you think I'm going to have respect because you do it?
We got to get to a point in life where we just don't focus on physical strength. Like we all in the gym. You know, we vegan. Some of us, you know, we eat right? We take care of our physical bodies, but we don't take care of the mind. And when the mind is messed up, everything is messed up. Like when the mind is destroyed, everything is destroyed. So number one, I wanted to tell the young players that we got to take our mental and emotional fortitude. We got to take that serious. I'm going to be real. You know, probably just recently, I realized I was mentally ill. Like, what you saying? Like, yo, flat out. My mother was 17. My father wasn't in my life. I lived on the streets of Detroit for 2.5 years. I lived in abandoned buildings. I ate out of trash cans. Like that was trauma. And my whole life I was taught, like, yo, you a man, be strong. Like you a man, you don't cry. Like you a man, be tough, right? And I personify that, like flat out. Like my videos, I ain't telling nobody, you get to whine, you get to give up, you get to cry. I ain't on that. But I realized in my own personal life, like, yo, you've been traumatized, bruh. You came into this life with a 17-year-old. You came into this life without your father. Like you came into this life without some of the skills that my son and my daughter got, because my wife and I have been married 5 years before we had kids. So number one, when I think about motivation, I think about like, yo, you got to be mentally strong. And what does that mean? It means that in Miles' case, instead of looking at dark times and looking at what you don't have, that's a mental illness. A mental illness is even when you got it good, you find a way to see the bad in what you have. A mental illness is even though the Lord has blessed you, you don't see what the blessings are. A mental illness is you don't have the ability to count on one hand all your blessings. And when you're still in the funk, you go to the second hand and you count. And so I started to become mentally strong. And I was able to look at, you know what? Homeless ain't the worst thing that ever happened to you. Like you could be dead, right? So what do you need to do? You need to start going to church. When I started going to church, I started saying, oh man, wow. I see they going to college. All right, yep. I'm going to get my GED and go to college. I started looking at, the GED ain't the worst thing in the world because the GED opened up the 4-year degree. And yep, it took you 12 years, but you finished. Now you can go get the master's degree. Yep. Now you can turn the master's degree into a PhD. And so all of a sudden I was homeless because I was thinking about I didn't have my father. My mother was young. I grew up in a certain neighborhood. I didn't have certain advantages that everybody else had. So number one, and I want to stay on this one because Like I said, this kid never cried. He never complained. And so one of the things we want to do with our young players is like really help them to understand that while you got to go out there and put the points up, at the same time, you got to make sure mentally you're strong. Because a lot of stuff is going to happen in life, and you got to make sure when you get hit, you have the ability to get back up. Real quick, I want to make sure, when I say motivation, I'm actually talking about mental health. Yep. When I talk about motivation, I'm actually talking about, again, when I talk about motivation, I'm actually talking about, one more time. When I talk about motivation, I'm actually talking about, and how many of us, like, for real, I know we hit the gym in the morning. I know we do that. I know we work out. We work on our games, but just being real, how many of us spend as much time on our mental health, motivation, like the ability to say, my favorite quote, never let a good crisis go to waste. My son, can you give me, Candace got the book. Can you let me see the book real quick? So mental health is, we are in a recession, right? That mental health, we're in a recession. Like as a speaker, I don't know if y'all know what this means, but as a speaker, they said something about social distancing. Rock my whole career. That's all I do. Thank you, son. That's all I do is speak. So in 2019, when we entered 2020, they really said my whole job was gone, right? I'm accustomed to being in the locker room or being on the field or being at a stadium or being out of the country, talking to 10,000, 5,000. My whole job was gone. So what does mental health look like? It looked like, instead of me saying, man, I done lost my whole job. Like I'm used to making, at that time, $50,000 a pop. Like ain't nobody paying that for no Zoom. Mental health was, relax, count your blessings, look within and see what can you do, even though they've taken your main source of income, what could you do? And so for those 2 years, I wrote a book. I got a publishing deal, right? I wrote a book, right? They came to me, hey, we're going to pay you this much. I said, I'm good. I want a greater percentage. Like I'm betting on ET. Like flat out, I'm good. You ain't got to give me no nothing up front. I don't need no royalty. I don't need nuts. I just need a greater percentage because I believe I'm going to sell 1 million books. So during the recession, my mental health was like, yo, they've taken the one thing that you know, the one thing that you're good at. They've taken that away from you. I thought it was going to be 6 weeks. Then it was 6 months. Then it was a year. Then it was 14 months, 16 months. It was 18 months before I got back on the road again, right? Motivation is mental. Yeah, come on. Motivation is mental. Good. Motivation is mental. And we got to work on that. So being honest, how many of you in the room, you spend as much time on your mental health as you do in the gym or as you do playing basketball? Let me see your hand. Right? And it's cool, whatever. But I'm just saying, I got a kid who is dying of cancer. He knows he's going to die. He's swollen. The stuff is coming out. But every day when I see him, every day when I talk to this kid, he's still like, E.T., I have nothing but positive things to say. That's because physically he was handicapped, but mentally he was strong. And so we got to work on our mental. So number 2, the role requires soul. So of course we got to be selfless with the sacrifice. You know, I'm walking up the streets of Vegas. I'm, doing my thing. People pulling me to the side like, yo, E, flat out. You know how bros are. They like, E, I don't take pics with grown men. You know how we do. Like, yo, sometimes you see celebrities, bro, and they kind of play you. So I want to take a pic, but I ain't know. I'm like, bro, let's take this pic, bro. They was like, E, thanks for all the videos. I was like, bro, that's what I do. That's what King did. That's what X did. That's what Garvey did. That's what Sojourner Truth did. That's what Harriet Tubman did. Like, that's what I'm on. The same way when you guys were young, and I don't know who y'all looked up to, but whoever it was, Dr. J had the rock, Michael Jordan had the rock. The same way when you get that rock in your hand and you feel that way, that's the same way I felt about Martin Luther King when I would hear him speak. Like, yep, I can do that. The same way when I would hear X lead a group of men, I was like, yo, I can do that. The same way with Marcus Garvey, when Marcus had, like, we going back to Africa and we got that pride. I'm like, yep, I can do that. So the same way you felt about that rock is the same way I felt about that mic. And I knew at a young age I could speak. And I was like, E, it just can't be about you. You got to be selfless.